Central. Seriously, guys, welcome to our stream. It's Thursday. It's subscriber stream. In honor of the Murder Hornets, I'm going to have a beer. All right, enough. It is almost weekend now. I have a new idea. I was just telling Asterbait. Welcome, guys. I want to create like any information about our last Tuesday tournament winner. I want to create like a parody YouTube chess. A parody YouTube chess channel. Where I just like teach like totally stupid incorrect things. Pretend I'm like an absolute idiot. Like a satirical YouTube channel. I wonder if people would fall for it. It would be kind of sad. No, today we will study the... My name is Boris, and today we will study the Stonewall attack. I just wonder how people, come to all pick up the same bad things that I see every day on lichess, like e4, c5, bishop c4. There has to be like a YouTube chess player who's 1100 who has like 5 million subscribers teaching people to play e4, c5, bishop c4. I mean, there's no other way that like everyone that you play online is playing this stuff. It's just a popular line. Just only positive things here today. Mr. Slowhand. Happy. We're happy today. Speaking of Tuesday's tournament, we had a donation from Cormoran, which I thought was very generous. Thanks to him for supporting the stream. If your credit card doesn't work, I can take crypto donations. TK guy. But seriously, guys, please support the stream if you can. We're going to go over subscriber games. I've got a lot of submissions this week for some reason. So it's just, you never know what you're going to get. I'm serious about the satirical even, YouTube chess channel. It would probably work. But I have to create like a fake, I think I'd have to create like a fake sort of, I'd have to create a fake identity for it. Something like that. Wait, I'll be right back. No, seriously. Now we start to look with Stonewall attack. Okay. We will analyze Stonewall attack for white. First position. Analysis board. We start d4 and then we play f4 and e3. Troll and roll what? Your profile picture here on Twitch is in black and white, so it is hard to distinguish your stream live from not live. Thank you, troll. Okay. No, I don't think this is gonna work. But I'm working on it, an idea. We've got to come up with a fake identity. But it's hot in that thing too, unfortunately. DK guy, what's up? All right, guys, we got 10 games submitted for analysis. But I'm serious. A satirical, why do I want to say satirical? Satirical chess YouTube channel where we just analyze ridiculous things and promote it. Basically what I want to do is to create the Onion, you know, of chess streams. DK guy said, have you tried this? You've done some investigations. Howtostreamlabs.com. PayPal automatically accept tips or disable manual approval. The links that I saw were like 2 years old, DK guy. We'll get to the customer service a little bit later. The customer service part of the stream. Whoa, we just had a donation. What is this? Mr. Slowhand for the parody. Chess parody. Yeah, I have a better complete look. I just was messing around with you guys. I haven't really unveiled it yet. 1,000 bits from DK guy from Slowhand. DK guy, we don't have time for customer service now. I saw some links about issues with accepting payments, but they were old. First of all, like PayPal changes its like structure basically like as fast as coronavirus mutates. If you look up like a help page on something like Streamlabs and PayPal, you know, you might as well be looking for something from the Paleozoic like era or something. PayPal and they change everything. You know, you got like a web page from like 2018 trying to help you, and like the stuff doesn't even exist. It's ridiculous. We'll work it out. Fortuna Chess Coach, welcome. Yeah, you might have to. But anyway, guys, if you want to support the stream, just ask me. You can send crypto. Make a direct donation via PayPal. If you do make a donation via Streamlabs, I recommend you click on the PayPal. We're having a little trouble accepting credit cards at the moment. But I do really appreciate the support. 1,000 bits donated from Mr. Slowhand. Thank you, sir. All right, guys. In all seriousness, we're going to get underway. We'll do customer service later. All right. First game is Iobatis. Iobatis. Thanks, Mr. Coffee, for all you do, by the way, for being here. Wrong link. Where is Iobatis? We'll look him up. We look him up. We hit the compose message button. It shows his latest. All right. That doesn't help me, actually. Where is your submission? Here it is. Spectacular Camel. Great. I've got it in the wrong place. We're a little slow to get organized here today. Can I copy and paste this? God damn it. I've enabled light profanity on my YouTube channel, just so we don't get in trouble. Mexican defense. Guys, let me open the window here. We're going to afford a little bit of ambulance sounds at the cost of some oxygen or whatever. It's in reverse. It was really cool yesterday, and suddenly it's like Mediterranean again. But those of you who complained about me wearing sleeveless t-shirts just should know that it was the record hottest April in Europe of all time. Not in Denmark necessarily, but overall. Seriously. Fortuna Chess Coach talking about technical HDMI cables and whatnot. Alright, so it's a Mexican defense. d4, knight c6, knight f3, d6. Bishop f4. London system, no matter what. God. We had the exact same position, I think yesterday. Yeah, yesterday I played the Mexican defense myself. We had the exact same game. I played knight f6 here. That's fine, Fortuna. You guys talk about what you want to talk about. Bishop g4 I played in the past in some games, but I'm not sure what it does. Let's see, bishop g4 e3. Bishop g4 e3 e5. Do we have that? But if bishop g4, white can also play knight on bd2. This is the first move I would look at, but that seems to be the commonly... Wow, there's a really weird variation here. Jason Gonzalez from... Oh, that's interesting. Knight d4, e5. This is cool. I've never looked at this. f3. Because we need some weaknesses on the dark squares. Bishop d7. Bishop e3. Pawn takes. A game from 1996. Przewoznik. That's cool, though. I like this. This is kind of a fun variation. If I'm white, why would I ever go e3 after bishop g4? Well, stop asking good questions. Because there's this thing here. This file, and I think you can actually take if I go e5. How does this work? d5. Yeah, we get mated. There was this funny incident in Boston 30 years ago where senior master got checkmated. He was distracted and played something like this in an over the board game, and like, I am strength player. Just, I saw a big piece next to my king from the other side he went to talk to someone on the other side of the room. Came back and he got mated. Yeah, no, good question. Is e3 really no good? You know, I'd never seen this variation before with knight takes d4. That's kind of fun. I mean, the more I look at this, the more I like it. If you want to, I would play bishop g4. It looks fine. Eugenio Torre against Gonzalez Jason, 2016. Anyway, I played knight f6, and we had we had e3, knight h5. This is yesterday. I talked about this Kogan game. This was a new move played by my opponent. Bishop g5, h6, bishop h4, g5, bishop g3. Or I think he played knight on fd2 first. I played knight g7. So we had this, yesterday's game. Knight f5. I felt like white was slightly better here. Why would you go at e3 after bishop g4? Anyway, troll, well, you've got to get your pieces out eventually. You've got to push something. I mean, e3 is normally what we play after bishop f4 in the London system. You're going to have to move your e-pawn at some point to get your pieces out. It's just no question. Anyway, so you played g6. I don't think this move is really critical. Now they can go into some kind of Jabava hybrid, you know, Dunst opening, London system Dunst opening hybrid. Just to be clear, you know, trying to make the London system cool by trying to combine it with Dunst opening or Verisov. It's just a different opening, you know. By the way, if you play knight c3, you're not playing the London system. It's a different opening. It's the Verisov. Okay, so now e4, g6, bishop g7, knight c3. This guy, Sirmai Edward, is Hungarian Meister, but he's old now. Oh no. You use this theme. Knight takes d4, the Jason Gonzalez Torre Eugenio theme. Knight d4. Okay, the first question, of course, there's some kind of weird check on b5 that he can play. Second question is, how bad is bishop e3? So if bishop b5 check, we just play bishop d7. And it doesn't really change the fact that we're getting our piece back. My problem with the position is that strategically, after like bishop e3, pawn d4, bishop takes d4, white stands better. White has the central pawn here, which is very influential. How bad is it though? Maybe not that bad. Kind of King's Indian. Not that easy for black to break out, I would think. Black is slightly worse, I would imagine here, you know. At least it's not the London, that's true. It's more like a King's Indian or something. Trying to get something active. This is horrific. The other possibility, he could have gone bishop b5 check, and you could move your king if you really wanted to be like weird. But probably we just go bishop d7 and it doesn't change anything at the end of the day. Bishop e3, pawn d4, bishop d4, knight f6. Apparently the computer disagrees though. White has some sort of tactic here with knight d5. This is really ugly. Possible. You could run into trouble. Obviously, combining with this sort of thing is a little safer. Safer if we're already castled in the first place. Bishop b5 check. You might have to play king f8, actually. But that's a serious concession. You know, if this is really a problem, I mean, this looks suspicious. Just doesn't work. Anyway, it's for fun. So e5, knight e2, this is terrible for white. This bishop's extremely strong. You're not even sacrificing a pawn. Great game for black. Super powerful bishop, unopposed. That's a very bad reaction by white. And then what? He's attacking this. So what about development? What about white's king in the center of the board? Instructive Games, Chapter 16. Oops. Sorry, guys. Am I going over the right game? Yeah, but we're in Chapter 16. That was the point. Chapter 16. All right, so here... Yeah, I don't like giving up the dark square bishop, and I don't like this move by your opponent either. Blatantly leaving the king in the center of the board. He's going for c7. Now you could certainly just take on d5 with a winning game. You're going to win the b2 pawn. And white is probably just lost. But you go for this, allowing knight takes c7. You also have bishop takes b2. But it's actually smart that he left the knight on b5, I guess. Just asking out of the box, taking on c3 and knight f6. I don't know. This looks good. It looks good. Some discoveries. Oh, taking on c3. Right away. It's certainly not bad. I mean, black has to be better, doesn't he? This concerns me a little bit. White's magnificent control of d5 and maybe queen d4. You know, his control of the center here, DK guy, might be enough to offset this. That's your number one asset, actually. When you give up the bishop on g7, that's our biggest plus side to this position. I think that white might be okay here. Yeah, computer says it's close to equal. It's okay, but it's not as good as like keeping the bishop. But white should just develop here. I mean, he's got to just develop his pieces. Bishop c4, castles, rook e1, you know, castles, rook e8, rook e1. I mean, this isn't that bad. He's missing his dark squared bishop, but he's not lost yet. Though he might be soon. The dark squared bishop's almost strategically winning for black in this position. Okay, guys, thanks for joining me here on the stream. We're going to go over 10 games. This is number 1. I've got games, by the way, from Yabadis, Mr. Slowhand, Uber Driver, Acerbate, Jim, Warnaki, Blobix, Troll on a Roll, Nefidov, and Save a Dog, aka HTFP. If you're not on the list, tough. But waiting for my coffee to kick in. All right. This is crazy, like, lag of development for white. Totally materialistic. Now you're threatening great discoveries. What if he goes back to d5 and comes to his senses here? Instead of taking your rook, right? Like here. Isn't this a problem? I don't know. Queen e5, f4. You got queen b2. I mean, it's good, but it's not over. It's not over till it's over. I mean, white is probably lost anyway. King trapped in the center, weaknesses all over the place. But the only sensible thing to do is to admit his mistake and play knight d5, probably. Winning the queen. Well, anyway, I mean, if we just take this, we're probably winning. Instead, we have... Well, I think he has something trickier. Okay, knight d1, bishop c4, knight f2, rook f1, check. And now for the mate. Smothered mate. A beautiful smothered mate with knight d2. Yeah, it was badly played by white, though. Not to take away from your victory, but I think the most important and interesting thing about this game is a discussion about the opening and also about your decision to play e5. This is interesting, you know. Bishop b5 check. King f8. Why does this variation not work again? Oh, okay. This, bishop e3, takes here. And now we have a problem. Now you're probably going to have to play... Yeah, this doesn't work. That's really sick. Okay, interesting game, man. Thanks for sharing. We're going to go on to number 2. Guys, thank you for your support. Thanks to Mr. Slowhand, donated 1,000 bits. DK guy with a donation last week. Everybody who supported the stream. Cormoran donated. I really appreciate it, guys. We can keep it going, right, Panda? Let's go on to number 2. Mr. Slowhand, who did just send us 1,000 bits. No gift subs this week, but we've got an updated, not updated. Let me update my bit donations. Mr. Slowhand just sent us 1,000 bits. That should be in there. All right. The Twitch page is like super slow to load for some reason. Mr. Slowhand 1,500, Jim with 400, Baronzen, we still got to get the subscriber avatars up. Baronzen with 220. Thank you guys so much. Also, WJ Loof, Oms on Twitch, and Rufus and Doofus. Alright guys, back to work. It's a lot of games. I've got 10 games we try to go through. Some of them are more serious than others. We're going to go back to Steam Chat here. Whoops. Steam Chat. Steam Chat? What did I say? Stream Chat. Whatever. Stream Chat. I'm trying to get rid of this now. Alright, there it goes. Alright, you bought this entertaining, but not that serious. Mr. Slow. Mr. Slow, how was your Tuesday tournament? It's trolling. Have you seen the winner of the Tuesday tournament? Has anybody seen the winner of our Tuesday tournament? Just positive thinking here. Where is Mr. Slow? Getting more and more like kind of spammy stuff from people in messages, which is really annoying. Where is Mr. Slow? I'm gonna have to look him up. It just shows today. Are you a different Mr. Slowhand? Are you kidding me? The link is only going to show today's messages? Since when does it do that? I got the wrong person. Are you not Mr. Slowhand? You're Mr. Slowhand Grind. That's not your account too, is it? No wonder there was no messages today. A long grind. This is why he's grind. A long grind to draw against an FM with 90 plus 30 secs. Is that like another of your older accounts or something? Analysis stream, lichess study. Alright, so skip the boring parts. It's a long game. It's a long life. French defense. Young FM. So this is over the board. Is that what we're saying? An old game. 2019. Not that old. Sparkassen Open. I've never been to the Sparkassen. Okay, Queen D3. I remember like toying with the idea of learning the French winnower about 20 years ago, and I went to the extent of actually studying John Watson's book on the French, like 3rd edition, and all the sidelines on move 4. And I vaguely remember this being mentioned in there. Queen D3, just another one of those like weird sidelines that's playable for white. You got lateral mobility here. We're going to play Gambit style. It's a funny way of defending E4. So if you think about this move, like psychologically, Luana, welcome. Long time no see. It's like, it's a little bit similar to Knight on GE2, which I played. Or A3. But in this move, I mean, we're like inducing black. Like I had this game with no problem at all last week. We're inducing black to take. Here again, we're inducing black to take. We're basically trying to get black to give up his center. You say out of my book on move 4. So you don't have John Watson play the French. Unbelievable. I thought those Germans are so systematic. There must be other good books. Does George Meyer have a book on the French? He should. Though I can't really respect someone who plays the Rubinstein variation. Mr. Coffee and I have decided that it's just bad. Horrible. The day suddenly got more interesting. Oh no. No room. Sorry, Bob. The inn's all full at the inn. 10 games. We'll let you know if we have some extra time, though, so keep it in reserve. Thanks for being here, being part of the stream, and focusing on chess. You're a bad influence on DK Guy. Alright, so... yeah, so you took... I mean, is there another option here for black, though? See, that's the thing we've got to decide at the end of the day. Is it worth it giving up the center or not? I'm wondering, does white play like queen g3 now? I can't remember. I had the feeling like queen g3 to attack here. So we don't have to recapture on e4, right? So if de4, queen g3, we play gambit style. That doesn't make sense, though. Is there a variation de4? That doesn't look safe. No, I'm just wondering, you know, please humor me. Is this not playable? It looks really materialistic to take this pawn. Sloan says 97 is the best try. I'm not sure what position you're referring to. I'm curious about this, though. Are you talking about this position? Or are you talking about the previous one? Let's see what the engine says. So the Sladgie Gambit, you know, all I do is just like show up every Thursday and invent new openings. But seriously, I'm surprised that no one's ever played this. I mean, if Nimzovich can play like a Gambit on move 3 in the advanced variation, shouldn't this be inherently like one of the main ideas here? This has got to be playable for white. Totally non-theory. I just feel it. Emery Tate would totally love this move. Rest in peace. So queen e4. So you're saying knight e7 instead of taking. See, that's part of the argument, right? Fundamentally, if we go to Chess Philosophy 101, we can discuss whether or not it's best for black to give up the central pawn or not. It's a matter of principle, I think, you know. But I'm not sure which is better. It looks like far more players have played DE, but the engine prefers 97. And if we look at the statistics, you got a sample size of 161 games, D takes E4. 97 has 87, and a handful with knight F6 and knight C6. It looks really close according to the engine. So I think you can't really be sure. I would just decide based on what kind of position you like to play better. If you like an open position, you don't mind giving up your strong point, then the e4. But if you like playing a closed game, then this seems better. Knight e7. And I mean, so now queen g3. There's actually a game from 1986, World Junior Championship, 1986, where future grandmasters squared off. That was actually played. So against this, bishop d2 becomes the main move. There's all sorts of different moves. Was I there? No. I'm too young for that, man. I was playing in like my 5th tournament in 1986. You might have been there. You're much more likely to have been there than me. I was just learning. I was playing like quads with 1,500 players. In 1986, I was playing at the Woodbury Chess Club, and 1,500 quads. Alright, so d takes e4, queen e4, knight f6, queen h4, castles. Yeah, I don't really like this, where we're getting people aiming at our king side. But fundamentally, black seems okay. I feel like I'm playing the Black Mardemer with black. It's very similar to some Black Mardemers. Luckily, he has a pawn on f2, like, so there's no f file. One of the things about playing such a line like Queen d3 that Mr. Slohan's opponent here is doing is maybe forcing, yes, scary, forcing Mr. Slohan or any French defense player into a type position he doesn't want to play. That's why I like this for white. That's why I like, you know, like I played against No Problem at All last week, playing knight e2. Because these players know that this is the best move, but now players who don't play the structure are being forced to play the structure. See what I'm saying? The structure may be more important than the actual evaluation of the position. Can we force a winnower player to play a structure out of like the Rubinstein variation in a way? Same thing here. What happens in this game? Queen d3. Now Mr. Slohan's a French player who plays the winnower being forced to play a structure that he's not really accustomed to. Bishop d3, and now Rubinstein, French player, probably here would be okay. You know, totally okay with this. George Meyer would know what he's doing. But someone who plays the winnower, you know, you're not accustomed to the structure. So c5, classic Rubinstein style move. But yeah, it looks scary. If you play c5, white can play bishop g5, and it gets ultra sharp. What are we doing now? You weren't even a little concerned about this, were you? Why is bishop g5 not playable? h6? Does h6 really just solve all of black's problems? Now I want to sack a piece, like knight f3 or something. That doesn't look... This is too much. Like, seriously. I think I'm going too far. I'm getting a little carried away here. What is that, a draw? 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 Would you like a draw? So, Joe Rahal and Eddie Levi, who I actually played against, here played d takes c5. But what is this, bishop g5? That's kind of scary. So the problem is here, knight f3, you know. Why is this not working? So queen d4 is not forced. Just have to calmly play rook e8 and it's all over. Although I'm sure like Morales would mate me here if I had to play black in a simul. It's just not quite enough for white. Castles. No problem. But now we can really take. You know, I wouldn't want to play it in a bullet game. But, alright. For argument's sake, this doesn't work for white. So that's your refutation, dude. You gotta play c5. And white's got nothing. He has to take, surrendering, psychologically, at the very least. And now you have a choice. Queen a5 is always bad. It's reminding me of the Nimzo, honestly. Very similar to Nimzo. This isn't so bad for white, is it? This is interesting. You know, guys, I gave this long lecture a few weeks ago about automatically attacking the queen. Like, this could be another case. The Mihai Suba argument, where like knight f6 doesn't have to be played automatically. It's so easy to just assume that knight f6 is like automatically the best move because you can play it. But maybe we shouldn't play knight f6. See here? 162, 163, 164, 166 games. Black played knight f6 in 162 games. I mean, there's something to be said about that, but it's the psychological import. Everyone just assumes, it just seems Darth Mambo, it seems like it's a debate. It's not clear which is the better move. Knight e7 or d takes e4. But just assuming knight f6 is the best move here, you know, I think that's a stylistic choice. Do you want to play an open game or a closed game? I don't really trust Stockfish, you know, coming down to like 0.1 or 0, which is objectively better. I don't know. You know, there's no way to know. But I think you got to decide what kind of position you like to play better. You know, an open game or a closed game. If you like more closed game than 97, this looks like interesting to me. Takes, c5. Theoretical novelty. Because we can play knight f6 whenever we want to. Does this improve our chances? Doesn't look convincing though, frankly. Playable. Very similar to Nimzo Indian. Anyway, just to raise a point, you know, it's not necessary to automatically play knight f6. Another idea I've used in the Black Mardimer, because that does seem similar here, but then like how do you get any counterplay after knight f3? This looks like it's just slightly better for white. So, alright, anyways, castles, bishop d3, so knight on bd7. You have to play c5. This is absolutely forced. Yeah, I mean, queen d4 seems weird. Because you're moving that same piece again a second time. He misses a better move there, knight e4. I mean, clearly, knight e4, queen e4, knight f6, queen h4 again, ironically. Our favorite move, rook e8 now. This has all been analyzed at home by George Meyer. Don't worry. He has 30 pages of analysis on it. It still doesn't look fun for black, does it? Not fun. So it's a good choice by this guy, the young FM. Knight on bd7, castle cd, queen d4, and inaccuracy. Now bishop e7. And I don't blame you for wanting to keep your bishop and not trade it for nothing on c3. The only problem we have is our bishop on c8. So the engine was pointing out like b6 here. Magnus Carlsen versus Hikaru Nakamura. Knight d6. Shades of their game last week in the playoff or whatever, the final match, the semi-final match, final match. There was a position where it was like this. gives up the bishop pair. This actually seems okay. Not easy. It's a technical ending where white might be a little bit better, but you could just give up that bishop to get developed. Instead, he fights for control of d6. And now rook d8. Logical, but the queen side is frozen. We cannot equalize without getting those pieces out. Oh, man. I mean, knight f6 is back to the drawing board. Could you take with a g-pawn? You just get mated there? That's kind of a messed up idea. Taking with a g-pawn. I mean, that can't be good. That can't be a good idea. All right. Yeah, I wouldn't want to play against Carlsen at all. But black needs to get the queen side sorted out. You know, there's a definite... I like bishop e7, but there's a definite feeling here that b6 is more expedient than playing queen c7. Basically, like, you have to make some kind of concession. Here it's giving up the bishop pair. You know, okay, we'll give it up, no problem. But at least the rest of our game is solid. White has the bishop pair, white has a queenside majority, and Magnus Carlsen is probably going to beat you. But the good news is that, you know, 90% of the chess world isn't Magnus Carlsen's strength, or probably 99.9 to be exact. So, unless your opponent is a 2700, you know, you can probably have really good chances here of having at least a draw. But queen c7, okay. Here, rook d8. I'm concerned about our development. Damn, dude. We're on the verge of completely screwed here. King g7, what are we going to do? King g7, queen h6 check. Live for chess. Exchange queens. How are you going to exchange queens? There's no way white is going to let you exchange queens unless it's absolutely forced. I would do anything to trade queens too. You mean like trade queen b6 here? Yeah, he won't let you. He's never going to trade queens. You could play queen b6 right away. There is an argument for this. It also controls d6. The downside is that it gets in the way of the b pawn. It's an idea. First thing I would try to do is avoid the exchange of queens if I was white. It doesn't look that easy though. Don't really have a good square to go to. I mean, obviously white is still better with the queenside majority, but this might really force a trade of queens. So you just go to an ending where you're slightly worse. It reminds me of the c3 Sicilian. Okay, he can play knight f6. Then how do you take back with the bishop? Yeah, he can still avoid the exchange of queens, even here. This is a slightly better version of the game. It's not a bad suggestion, frankly. If queen b6, knight b6, the knight's on a kind of weird square. This is a pleasant endgame for white, but playable. Yeah, it's a good suggestion. Alright, I don't like queen c7 though. So somehow he survives here. This looks like it's almost lost. Yeah. Knight f7, there's no immediate tactics. Knight e4. What about knight e4? That's what he did. Phew, man, cutting it close there. Jeez. And also you can play h5 now. Maybe not. h5, queen f6 check looks dangerous. How does this work though? Queen f4. Queen f4, g3. Can we play that? Queen f3 and we're mating him? So here he trades queens. If g3, queen f3. Good luck with that. Yeah, the bird's extremely annoying. I just need some oxygen. Talk about the important stuff. That's why I don't believe in Twitter, bird. I don't like tweeting. I don't subscribe to tweeting. At least it's not a pigeon. I'm really not going to complain, Warnaki. It's not pooping on the window, and it's a pleasant little birdie. Alright, queen f4. It is pretty annoying, though. It's a bank holiday in Hungary tomorrow. I did not know that. Doesn't matter, I don't have holidays. Alright, queen f4, queen g3. So that's a major concession. Wow. He must have been devastated. I don't see anything for white. You're threatening h5? For real now? Winning a piece? It's a goat day. Okay, well, I mean, victory day. Liberation day. Queen f4, queen g3. Man, that is a huge concession. So now he has double pawns. So it's theoretically black's white, like worse. Black is worse in the endgame with the queenside majority. That's what I'm trying to say. Theoretically. But now, I mean, you've got kingside majority. Your king is better than his king. I'm not convinced that you're really worse here at all. Let's make our majority count. It looks like you're interested in the e5 square. Not allowing the knight to come there. Good job. Also knight c5. I mean, probably our first idea is probably f5. It looks like you're better now. This is an over-the-board game, by the way. Just so you guys know. This is kind of passive. We would have preferred our knight to go to a better square, you know, than b6. I wonder about f5, and then like being very active with our king here. f5, knight e3, maybe even king f6. How do you guys feel about this? a5. It's your minority, sir. It's totally okay for black. The engine likes knight b6. The f5's up there. h5, I don't know. I can understand playing h5. You don't want to be backward on the h file. You don't have that liability. Now your a5 might start to make sense there. Putting our pawns on the dark squares. But I want to get the king closer to the center. Want to get our majority moving. You did a little bit. You know, there could be a downside to this h5, though. You know, the fact that it's on a white square that's easily attackable. Like, we can never play g5 without hanging our h5 pawn here. In the long grand scheme of things, you're putting a pawn on the same color. I mean, you are with f5 as well. But eventually with f5, I'm going to play like f5, e5, g5, and f4. With h5, it's hard to just go beyond that. You can't play g5 without dropping that pawn on h5. something to think about. Basically, you're just swapping pieces here into a technical ending, and this move is like psychological. Psychologically weak move, king f8. I mean, even e5 is interesting, is it not? Of course, there's risk involved in this move. We loosen the bishop. Are we in time? Rook d2 could be a problem. Rook d2. What do we do now? King f8 is too slow. So you'd have to play like rook d7 and bishop e5. Okay. Probably not e5. But anyway, if you have the choice between king f6 and king f8, maybe even king f6 is better. It was slightly passive. Plays f4. Is there any way we can play e5 before that happens? Shit, it's the best move. God damn, e5. Pardon my French, guys. We have minor vulgarity and profanity in my stream. But it's very minor. Rook d2. We say damn and hell and stuff like that. Rook d2. I was afraid of this. And the problem being that he takes control of the open file. The engine says it doesn't matter. See, that's where you become the all-knowing. Here the computer just doesn't care, you know, about the open file. It's like more important to get your majority moving and stop him from cementing the e5 square. That's what you take away from this. My instinct is a king f6. Live for chess. I take it you're Hungarian? I take it we're playing a little too passively here. Okay, this is the problem. By the way, I mean, if we're going to do this, why don't we just take with a rook? I mean, we might as well just take with a rook, right? Why pin ourselves at the end of the day? It is kind of awkward taking with the bishop, frankly, and I don't think the file matters. It matters, but there's no way to use it, you know, here. Again, big deal. Like, he has no entry point on the file. We're just coming. You know, now you can battle back against him. That's kind of concerning, though, actually. I wish we hadn't played maybe h5. Then we could play g5 if we hadn't played h5. Londoner, all right. So we drifted a little passively here. In the game, king e7, f4, bishop c6. You know, I'm a little concerned about these pawns all being fixed on the wrong color. We can't use our majority, you know. You don't have to trade this rook either. Again, he doesn't have anything he can do with the open file. So you could do the Warnaki here with a5, probably. The one thing I hate about Hungary is the ambulances. They're just crazy. And the birds. a5 is a good move. Generally speaking, you don't want to touch the pawns on your weaker side, but I think you probably want to like discourage White from playing b4 here. Okay, he'll still play a3. You play b6. It's a draw. It's a draw is the short explanation for this position. White is slightly better. Trading rooks is probably okay, but I mean, now you have to calculate the king and pawn in game after bishop f3. Forced king and pawn in game. Sounds fun. It might be easier for White to create a passed pawn. Alright, so if he takes with the g pawn, because I'm not sure, frankly. Does he really want to move his king back to f3 here? He wants to play g4. Can White play pawn takes? It's better for black. amazingly, and it's a tough decision between both recaptures. I don't know. Even the engine doesn't know which move is better. Team King and Pawn games are tough. Now it's a draw. I guess it's a draw anyway. What if he takes on b6? If he takes here, how are we taking back? With the pawn takes, any issues? White theoretically has this outside pawn, but it could also fall. I'm a little skeptical. It's like he's close to winning here. So you have to take with the king or the a pawn, man. I'm not sure about this. Even the engine doesn't know. That evaluation is kind of weird, 1.6. Not quite enough to win. Usually it's 1.5 or so. That's the horizon, and if it's over 1.5, you're lost. I would think the engine could calculate this much. I'm not really excited about this queenside majority being an active pass pawn, but this position is about as complicated a king and pawn game as you can get. I don't know. Is b5 even a good move? It looks kind of weird to me. Have you ever analyzed this on an engine really deeply? Extremely complicated king and pawn game. I wouldn't know, like, offhand what it is. White is clearly better. I certainly wouldn't have played b5. Just surprising. He has to take here. I mean, there's no other way, is there? I don't understand how he didn't. You know, there's like no losing chances. I don't even know which way I would recapture here. But he plays this move. This looks like a force field. That's crazy. I mean, there's some good tricks you could do, you know. This is lost, so the engine finally saw the horizon on this. King takes. I mean, your majority is stymied, and it's harder to create a pass pawn. Kind of fundamental. You're lost here. Looks like it's lost. Looks like b5 is actually a losing move. And he can't win if you don't play b5, ironically. But it wasn't easy. I mean, I don't think I would play this correctly. Again, this is about as complicated a king and pawn game as you can get. I mean, 6 pawns, double-edged distribution of pawns. So you have to play king c7 or king d7 waiting, letting white play b5 and gain more space. And then you can play like a5. This may just be lost, dude. It may just be lost for you. So here, this is apparently important moment now. And this is the move that loses. That's very instructive. It's okay if you play b6. So this is the mistake, not playing b6. Very subtle position. I don't know. Generally, like, the rule is not to touch the pawns on the stronger side for the opponent, you know? And I think Mr. Slohan was trying to do that, but eventually he panicked. But it was already lost probably when you play b5. That's the ironic part, you know? c4, king c6, b4, king d6. This is the losing move. Now he just has too much space. And now you just play b5 out of desperation, and he didn't take en passant. So you can hold by playing b6. No way for white to win. Not an easy game, guys. Anyway, I can't spend too much time on this. Mr. Slowhand always does this to me. He gives us games that are just... Anyway, he said don't do the boring part. All right, we'll continue. We got through the boring part. Good God. Now white has a protected passed pawn there. He's going to move g4 and break. So if you play e5, this enables you to set up some kind of like a force field. This structure is instructive. Like, white has a protected passed pawn on c5 and can't win. You just like move back and forth forever. That's kind of interesting. So in the game, you did play e5. And wow, e4. Would it matter if you took on f4? No, it's just a draw. You created your own protected passed pawn, or attempted to. Now he plays c6. You take. All right. So now it's calculation. Like, you need to have that position. Yeah, there were some nervous moments there. Interesting game. All right, Mr. Slow. Sorry we can't go into any more depth, but I don't know. You know, very complicated. So we're up to Uber Driver. Haven't heard from Uber Driver in a while. Uber Driver, I saw they were laying off like 14% of their workforce. But I guess that was just like the staff in the office or something. I'm not sure the actual Uber drivers are getting axed. So, Mr. Sohan, thanks. Interesting game. And b5, ironically. So it didn't matter. You're already lost when you play b5. But that's funny how you have to play b6. I'm not sure if I would find that over the board or not. There's a kind of like intuition you have to develop in endgames. Things like king and pawn endgames. It's impossible to develop without just playing like hundreds and thousands of let's say endgames in Blitz and stuff. We can't just rely exclusively on like calculation in king and pawn games. Even the engine can't figure it out. How do you expect a human to figure it out in a set amount of time? I mean, it took the computer at least 5 minutes to calculate that. And I still don't think it was all the way through. All right, Uber Driver. Thanks, guys, for tuning in my stream. Tomorrow we're going to have Blitz. Fast Blitz here. Fast Blitz Friday. What am I doing? What is this? I did not click on that. Where is Uber? I'm terrible with the mouse. Oh no. Uber Driver just put in the notation. Sloppy. Smoothing it over with a compliment. I was playing over this game, Capablanca versus Santa Sierra, New York, 1931. The great Cuban made it look so easy. His play is actually a lot like the way you're playing these days. Midnight stream, 40 minutes a game. Nah, we got to move on. Always, Mr. Slowhand finds, he's like, where can I find the longest king and pawn in game in the world? I'm going to get my money's worth. His games are always like the epic longest analysis. Not because he donates the most, it's the games he chooses. You know, he chooses are like very complex, closed, like classical kings Indians. Now crazy king and pawn in game. All right, Uber driver. Copy, tools, analysis board. Paste. Import now. Copy playing white. He didn't play this type of stuff very often. Where's Jim? He would appreciate this. The goddamn London system. No, even then it was driving people crazy. Santa Sierra was an American master, famous for knight f3 b4 actually with white, and he was strong. He wasn't like a GM, but he was strong. I don't know if he had a title back in those days. There was no titles, or they just started having titles. He would have been an IM, you know, I guess like a strong IM or something by modern standards. But I was gonna say another move here I like is bishop g4. I guess, alternatively. I swear I try to play crushing chess in the future. Well, people don't play the French defense to play crushing chess, Mr. Slowhand, with the black pieces in general. It's not easy to play crushing chess with black at all against someone good. But, you know, the French is a solid defense. Bishop f5, now g3. So Capablanca playing a double fianchetto. Miss Uber Driver is saying that I'm playing a lot of double fianchetto stuff. But frankly, this type of c6 thing has been frustrating my kingside fianchetto type setups. So this is interesting. But this is a very classic Reti with white. Now this bishop might be on the wrong square here by Santa Sierra. You're going to be apt to get hit by d3, e4, and e5. Yeah, Capablanca didn't play a lot. Yeah, he didn't play the Reti like a lot with white. He was fairly flexible, but he wasn't a big opening guy. This was in 1931. But I basically would put my bishop on e7 if there's a possibility of white playing for e4, e5. You see, that's the number one move here. Bishop d6 is less common. You're kind of asking for e5 fork by putting your pieces like that. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of stuff along these lines. I would probably play like a3. There's an Espig Lutz game with e4. The computer is always coming up with nice shots like this. This e-file, really nasty. So Capablanca didn't find it, but Lutz found this e4. Ooh. That's like Stockfish is going to be 100%. 100% on e4. But anyway, I mean, we've got g7. I've had a lot of blitz games like this. This like wins. Jeez. It just wins. And Capablanca didn't find it. It doesn't win like win-win by force directly in two moves. But I think it destroys Black's position. First of all, he's going to have to give up his center. And, yeah, it's 1931. Capablanca wasn't that incisive, and he wasn't, you know, the kind of player who tried to crush people in 10 moves. He also, and this is relevant, doesn't play this kind of setup very often, you know? So he was just kind of throwing something different out there without a lot of familiarity. He didn't know. He was playing like Reti in this position. Does this just blow Black away immediately? Pretty close to it. Like, you have to give up your center, which is bad news. I guess you could also play bishop g4. That's also horrible, because the e-file. This is a particularly bad choice by Black. To play queen e7 without castling here. So you got another problem, not just the pieces getting forked, but getting skewered on the e-file. So you almost have to play this move, which surrenders your center. I was just assuming like this would be the line. Knight takes, bishop takes, something like rook e1 or, you know, bishop takes g7. But here he has f5, so maybe we just take the pawn. I mean, I don't know that much about Saint-Cyr. Maybe he was kind of a coffee house attacker. Maybe he wanted to sack a pawn here and castle queenside. You know, I'd probably just come back and let him castle queenside. White is better, I guess. But it's not that simple. This could get kind of dangerous. But apparently he's just like crushing black here with knight h4. This is knight d4, according to the engine, even stronger than Lutz's move. Oof. That just wins, almost wins by force. This looks brutal. Knight takes f5. E takes f5. This is positioned by transposition. And black gets away. So castles, kingside. Bishop takes b7, strafing the structure. And with clear advantage to white. Black did at least get the castle safely. So Kappa instead plays c4, which is the Réti. Oh, he played rook e1. I thought he was going to play c4. Kind of standard Réti plan. He played rook e1. Oh, yeah. And then now he does c4. I'm expecting e4. That's kind of funny. Okay, so black tries to hold the position with c6. Again, Capablanca playing white. And then e4. Black tries to keep the structure closed. And this I don't know, might be a good choice. But white is just better. And that's such an ugly move. Presumably that's why he didn't put his bishop on h7. He didn't want to have that. He wanted to be able to play g6. Just a total beatdown. Temporary, what they call a sham sacrifice. It's basically like a fake Fugazi. Knight f5 is a Fugazi sacrifice. G takes f, e takes f, e4. And now the two bishops are just chopping the board. Yeah, this is like he's making black look like a beginner. Structurally destroyed. His kingside has no safety. And then this move. Surprising. I normally wouldn't want to give up my precious bishops that are just cutting the board in half. Yeah, I mean, Capablanca wasn't a tactician. He was a strategist, and he played really simple, like, you know, he specialized in simplistic positions where you could just solve the position in a very basic way. I've never seen this game. Bishop h3, queen takes, queen takes. I would assume rook c6. So white momentarily threatening knight f5, I guess. This is interesting. He took time out to play rook c1. And he just goes into an ending. Wow. That's not what I expected. It seems like white had to have better. He goes into an ending with equal material. Like, white's advantage is just very small, but enough to win, maybe, with precise play. And he just wins a pawn. Another pawn. That's ugly. When black finally gets some counterplay, he's 3 pawns down. It's a lot. Resigns. Basically, black played really badly. I mean, to be fair, you know, this player since Sarah was capable of playing great chess, but this was not his greatest game. Of course, he's playing one of the most legendary players of all time. Easy to get kind of psyched out and not play your best game in that situation. It wasn't a well-played game by black, but particularly the opening setup. Bishop d6, mistake number 1. You know, h6, is that even necessary? And then queen e7, what is this about? Like, we're going to castle queenside against Capablanca? Really? You're playing Capablanca, going to castle queenside like a maniac and hammer him over the head with a club? Is that a good idea? I don't know, you know. All right, Uber Driver, thanks for the game. So, Astrobate is up next. Yeah, at this rate, we're never going to get through all the games. It's 8 o'clock. We've got an hour left. All right. Astrobate, where's your game? I joined Blobix's Gorillas group. All right. Is this the game? Anti-fried liver? Pretty mate? This must be the game. HTFP, you're like the last one on the list. Hey, what's up, Excel Poker? Sorry, I get so absorbed into these games when we're analyzing them that I just forget, like, I'm even here with you guys. I'm just, like, totally concentrated on... Blobix is here. Gorillas are happy to welcome the boss. What's up, Gorilla? Long time no see. I hope that you're okay. Under the reign of coronavirus. So, you changed your name, HTF0. Dude, didn't you just... Yeah. Streamers can't pronounce it. HTF0. HTTP, we'll call you that. HTTP. Astrobate is playing white. Yeah, living with your family in the same apartment day after day can be an exhausting experience, Blobix. I completely understand. You should get away to that cabin in the woods a little bit more often. Alright, Joker Piano, there it is again, h6. It's one thing in the London system. It's not good against the Joker Piano. He did it. He played d4. Good job. Recently we saw him play another game where he just took too much time. We have to open it up against bad moves like h6. Antonia says, what, do you have an issue with lichess? It's missing my stream? Well, it's probably just they have a million tournaments. There's more streamers. You know, the notifications up there, there's like more and more tournaments because I guess of lockdown. I guess it's not anything against me, you know, probably. But my subscriber stream, Muralis, is usually the least popular. It's more specifically toward the subscribers. Yeah, you should send a complaint to lichess directly. Alright. So I'm not up there now. How many streamers are being, you know, listed on lichess at the moment? For example, I don't keep an eye on it. E takes d4, c3, sacking a pawn. Astrobate playing like Spidler. The young Peter Spidler. I think I met him in 1994. My friend Bill Kelleher played him at the Intel Rapid Tournament in 1994. For the first time. I think Bill had a draw with him. So this is Spidler from 1992. Maybe what I'm remembering was 93. I can't remember now. Alright, c3, d takes c3. Taking the pawn, knight takes. Did I forget lichess in the title? I don't believe so. No. Sladgie Thursday Analysis with subscriber games, ! Space, lichess.org. I think they just don't like me. It's a conspiracy. Queen b3. Nice move. Basically, Astrobate is playing, he's playing the Evans Gambit without playing the Evans Gambit. This is awesome. I might have to sign up with chess.com, I know. I've only been doing this for 4 years. They should totally diss me at lichess. Promoting the site for 4 years. But, I can't keep up with all the latest wannabes and stuff. Queen b3. I am faithful, but I'm used to people dissing me over time. People and organizations. Yeah, it's Evans Gambit style. I don't know if we have to go to that extreme, Master. Why not we bust them with your favorite move, e5 here? Probably my favorite choice. I guess Queen b3 is good. Yeah, you're right. No, something like the standard. This sort of standard type of thing would be obviously clear advantage to white, nearly winning objectively. King is just messed up. Agnes Kariuski, thank you for donating 100 bits. You'll see me playing bullet in a backward baseball cap soon. You didn't see me earlier with the wig on. You missed that, Bob. Bob might have got excited. You'll have to go back, scroll back, and see me. My new personality. I'm gonna create an Onion-like YouTube channel where I teach like completely incorrect chess under a fake personality. Yeah, I mean, I don't like the way it's set up, frankly, anyway, Miralis. They've been paying less and less attention to the streamers now. And putting those tournament notifications up in the corner that blocks it out almost entirely. It seems sort of stupid. But anyway, back to the game. Alright, so let's see the focus here. What do we got? Queen b3 and then bishop e6. Obviously he has to play queen d7. An Evans Gambit style thing. And now with the threat of knight a5, what would Astrobate do now? I know what Morales would do. He would play the e5 and it would work. Morales would make this work somehow. It's gotta work, right? Just natural pawn sacrifice. The e5 square. This has gotta work. I don't need to calculate. I just feel it, you know. Computer doesn't buy it. It's knight a5 is a problem. Damn. No, knight a5 is a serious problem. You know what that means? That means that Astrobate's move isn't good. That means that queen b3 is a mistake. Where did this game come from? So you should play castles, Astrobate. Where did the Fiddler game go? Oh, Blatny played d3, which is totally non-critical. Giving the pawn back. Whatever. You can castle and sack a pawn. You know, and actually this wouldn't be such a big deal if it wasn't for the fact that Black played h6. How much time can Black possibly play, you know, with the Danish Gambit? Already a dangerous opening, but h6. This is insanely dangerous for Black. Now e5 really will happen. This is what you should do next time. Just sack a second pawn. Alright, so still this shouldn't be bad, though. d6, he played well. Give him credit. Astrobate's opponent, you know, he did the best moves. d6, take the pawn, d6. Queen b3, okay, now he just missed queen d7. Queen d7 is stubborn. What about this, Morales? What do you think? We can save our bishop with some quiet move like bishop e2. What would you do to beat me here? You're going to give up your white squared bishop. Castles, knight a5. Can we give up our white squared bishop? Wow. Man, I mean, this even playable. Someone on sound is not in the house, is he? Someone on sound, the big believer in dubious gambits like the Smith Mora and whatnot. We still have compensation. You and Morales. There's still long-term compensation here, even in this line. It costs black a lot of time. Black's king's in the center. The only piece he has developed is the queen. Well, this is a pretty alien position, but black played this move. This is obviously a huge issue here. I can't believe you traded queens. This is very strange, you know, for Asterbate to trade queens. He doesn't really like endgames. Even our friends Morales and someone on sound who also don't like endgames. Is there a common denomination here? All three of you guys don't like endgames, and you know they're pretty much universally going to avoid trading queens. It's strange that, you know, Asterbate here willingly traded queens. This move, I'm not sure it benefits us because of queen f7, unfortunately. I mean, I guess you could play it and throw the queen back to g3, but now black can castle. It may not be that bad for black at all. But if you come back here, something like queen c4, I kind of like that. Keeping e4 protected, keeping the queen active, white's better. Asterbate, you should know this. Normally you wouldn't trade queens. I don't know what got into you. Must have been abducted by aliens or something. He does not trade queens to an endgame, normally. That's so strange. Well, I mean, you know, the attack with the pawn storm doesn't seem as effective here with the queens off the board. I'm a little concerned about the central pawn at e4. I just think I would play a fundamental move like developing or whatnot, or worrying about this pawn here. Yeah, a6 might have made black's position worse. After a6, he weakens the queen side, and now a4 b5 becomes a really serious threat. You know, this seriously jeopardizes black's position. Now b5, maybe even knight a5 is possible. But once you play a6, it's a totally different ballgame. You know, now this is going to rip open the whole queen side, and we might have serious threats. So I'm not surprised by that entirely. I wonder if black should trade knights on d5. Not going to save him. But now we have a real attack, even without the queens on the board. That's me. a6. I blame it all on a6 by black. Okay, good game. Next customer. You should go full Evans Gambit style next time, Asterbate. Sack the second pawn. Don't even recapture on c3. Just keep giving him pawns. If he plays h6, he's so far behind in development. Alright, Jim. Jim is not here, but he is one of our most supportive members of the community. Going over his game. But I've lost it momentarily. I'm way too far back now. Should be around here somewhere. There it is. Game for Thursday. Another unfair result. That's kind of interesting game. It might remind you of something. It's 55 moves. Oof. So wrap it up if you don't have time. We'll wrap it up quickly. Tell me the good 55 moves. Where are the good moves here? Let's make it a quick summary. I've got about 50 minutes left in our stream, guys. Jim is playing white against chess-coach. Chess-coach. What? Chess-coach. That's original. He gets many, many points for creating a really cool and imaginative name. Chess-coach. Chess-com. All the bad things that I've said about chess.com, and I'm still not listed on the lichess streamers. It's just not right. e4, d5, e takes d5, knight f6, d4. So this is my favorite old defense for black. I got a lot of mileage out of this opening. For black, but it just sucks, you know. HTTP. It's like a web page. Anyway, e4, d5, e takes d5, knight f6. Don't play this, guys. d4, knight d5. Okay, so now we have a couple different approaches. Well, to be fair, Warnaki, Bartholomew, you know, is wrong. The Scandinavian does suck. But if I'm going to be honest, you know, I think, like, this sucks less than knight f6 sucks. Like, they both suck, and they're both incorrect. But knight f6 sucks more than queen takes d5. They're both bad, you know, objectively. You're playing black, and you're trying to tell me that opening the position and bringing your queen out early is correct. You know, oh, well, Magnus Carlsen plays it. Well, Magnus Carlsen could play, like, you know, e4, f5 on the first move, too. I'm being honest, you know, it's not a good opening. You can get away with it. But knight f6 is worse than queen takes d5. Definitely. It's definitely worse. I admit that, you know. But after this, so we have a couple of approaches here. I mean, c4 can be good. I kind of like just playing knight f3. A little bit like an Alyakin defense. I'm going to change my name to chess.coach. It's better for business. It's all about making money and marketing ourselves. That's why I'm on lichess. I was kind of grossed out recently, like yesterday, Tybalt or somebody welcomed like FIDE, open an account on lichess. I mean, you know, like, oh, I'm so excited, like the corrupt chess organization is getting its hooks into lichess now, getting involved with it. Oh, great, you know. Not really something that should be celebrated, I think. Basically, like, FIDE is the antithesis of lichess. It's like a politically corrupt sporting organization. I wouldn't be welcoming them, you know. But whatever, do what you want. c4, knight f6. Yeah, I mean, it might be the only game in town. I have a membership number, but I'm not paying any dues. I don't have to like it, you know, because it's the only chess organization in the world or whatever. Doesn't mean I have to like it. I live with it. c4, knight f6. Now we have to be careful. Knight c3 isn't so good. Black plays e5 there. So our only choice is to play knight f3. Black plays e6 now. This is extremely unusual. Carlsen Nakamura. That's a new game. I might even have a game by transposition in a position like this, but I mean, I had a game like this where I played knight f3, e6 against Mihawk, and then c4, knight f6, I think. Oh, you know what I did? No, I lie. I played c5 in this position. But that's going to be black's plan anyway. Dog guessed. So knight f3, e6, knight c3, c5, c. What did I say? He has to play c5. I mean, there's no other point to black's move order. and then d5. So now, hold on a second. Are we getting close to a game? Wait. What kind of idiot would play this with black? Seriously. What a stupid position. So, who is this chess coach guy? Man, what a potzer for playing this opening with black. E takes d5, and now c takes d5, and black played bishop d6. It's just... So basically the idea is borrowed from some variations of the Queen's Gambit accepted. I want to show you what I'm thinking here. Like d4, d5, c4, pawn takes pawn, knight f3, knight f6, knight c3, c5, d5, e6, e4, e takes d. Now the sharpest move is e5. Okay, this is like a really sharp line, but just hypothetically bear with me. So here, here bishop d6. Do you see anything familiar? Yes. No, it's extremely, extremely similar, no? To, well, what is considered to be a completely okay variation of the Queen's Gambit accepted. In that position, the only move that's really dangerous is this e5, which I had a training game with Weedmaster. Once in this with black, it wasn't fun. But that's where I borrowed the idea from. So chess coach, whoever he is, and I don't know who he is, playing this. It's not Mihawk, because I know he has an account here on lichess. He's been here for a while. He didn't pick up my idea and start playing it. Alright, so now bishop e5 check. It's the best move. I looked at that. I play knight d7, and our hero plays knight bd7. The black played castles here. What's that about? Oh, castles for white. Okay. So chess coach is playing black. Jim plays queen e2 check. And I did think about this at the time. I wasn't overly concerned about queen e2 check because of queen e7. I mean, the last thing black's afraid of here is trading queens, I think. Even the computer played it, Rousus. I played the pre-computer Rousus back in like 1999. Knight on bd2, 7, whatever, queen e2 check. So I like the way that Mihawk played. Castles, castles, bishop g5. He got a good game, actually. I was on the verge of losing this, although I must have made a mistake at some point. a6, bishop d7, knight e4, and it gets ugly now. Bishop f5, bishop f6, g takes f6. Nice structure. He misplayed this position and didn't get enough advantage to win. But at this point, white is clearly better. White has a definite advantage. If he keeps the knights on the board, keeps the queens on the board, it's going to be very difficult for me. But Jim played it, said queen e2 check. I don't think trading queens is really what we want to do here. I like the blockade of this pawn. So I've also played a few positions where this kind of thing happens. Black should definitely have to consider king e7. But I don't know. I don't know if it's really worth it. Maybe he can't afford to leave the king on e7. If we play bishop e7, there's no immediate d6, and we can get the king out with castles. Doesn't look like there's anything white can really do. So I love centralizing the king in the endgame. We should also mention that if black is able to play a6 and b5 on the queen side, bad things can happen to white in this kind of endgame. That queenside majority is really dangerous. And also the pawn on d5. The pawn on d5 is part of my basic idea. The most basic idea behind this whole thing with black is that we're going to surround that pawn on d5 with a6 and b5 and bishop b7, and it's just going to like fall. So maybe a4 should be played at some point. I'm curious about this position though. We'll check with the oracle. You know, instinctively I would play something like king e7, rook e8, and then try to like artificially put my king on f8. Or maybe even rook d8, like the engine's talking about rook d8. He wants to castle, I guess. That's a dangerous pawn. See the difference here? Bishop f4. Oof. This is double exclamation point. This is why king e7 is better. Now, this is a really good move. Bishop f4 with the ability to play d6. If he had played king takes, never would have happened. This is a very sharp move by white now. Going for it. Do we have time for rook ae1? No. No, it looks like bishop d3. We got this square. Here we took time out for a4. Should we play rook he1? Excuse me. I see no reason to play not to play rook he1 here. King f8 loses a piece to d6, so black has to play bishop f8. We're almost winning with bishop c7 actually. Knight h5. Are you sure? I'm skeptical about knight h5. I'm not sure. You know, we've got this move, like for tempo. I mean, black might be able to play b5 here anyway, because of the a file. The blockade is important. Now h4. Keep in mind, this is probably a fast-paced game. Simul. Wait is 11 minutes. Black has 1. Another one of these, like, grandmasters trying to play 50 games at once or something. Now I'm beginning to be concerned that black has got a really solid grip on d6. This move was given a dubious by the computer analysis. So b5 is possible. Huh. This concerns me. You remember Chess Coach? Is it a Russian guy? I think I saw it was a Russian dude. No, actually it doesn't have a country. Not that that matters. Anyway. You remember him? Oh, Petrosian is his surname. There's Arshak Petrosian. So he's obviously not Russian. Armenian, but... I just know the Arshak guy. I don't know him. I know of him. And then, like, there's the younger one, of course. Tigran. The elder, the junior. Tigran the junior is very strong. It has to be not this guy. Bishop d6, knight d6. Good blockade now. Jim is drifting. We've got a rook on the 7th. But our concern is that, you know, the queenside majority isolated pawn factors start to favor black here. This was not a bad move, though. He goes for the blockader. That's a nice idea. Eliminate the blockader, very fundamental. Re-establish blockader. So we've got a Armenian grandmaster playing black. He obviously has some familiarity with positional play. But there's this problem. You faked him out. You thought he was going to go for the... you thought he was going to go for the blockader, but then you got the knight on b6 and he's tied up. That's very awkward. How are you going to get rid of that knight on b6? Holy. Wow. The knight on b6 just kills him. He called you dull. After you pointed out in his simul that he couldn't complain too much. When he accepts 100 people and loses on time. Did he call you dull in like Russian? What's the word for that? I don't think I ever knew it. Oh, Arshak Petrosian, his father. I don't know if it's Arshak. There's probably a million Petrosians. I mean, it's extremely common name, I guess. Son of Peter. Literally the father of Arshak Petrosian is the father-in-law. Coach, he's not the coach, is he? I mean, I don't think the guy had anything to do with Leiko, you know, until after he was past his prime and he married the guy's daughter. Probably he's responsible for the demise of Leiko as a player. Leiko was a great player till he got involved with that whole scene. He's gone downhill ever since. He sort of left the Hungarian chess circles. Should have stayed with his roots. But anyway, those are long gone. F3, H6, G4, nice. Second front. I wonder if you should support that knight. I guess there's no need to play A5 here. Masterful game. There's a threat of rook E7. I'm surprised he hasn't gone with rook E7 already. Why are you hesitating with rook E7 here? It just looks like it's crushing. What is black going to play after rook E7? Does he even have a move? Oh, now he has knight C8. The old knight C8 trick. The rabbit out of his hat with that move. So if you play rook E7, it's this. Miracle defense. Saving black. Does that work, master? It's probably as good as anything. It might even save black. Oh, that's so nasty. Like a Benoni trick. So he's trying to get him to go for that. Jim doesn't fall for it. He just increases the space advantage on the king's side. This was a great game. So he was clearly better. And now Jim will tragically lose from winning position. This obviously, you know, a little dangerous on the C file. But I don't think that black has like rook C8 or anything. I mean, does this work? This might even work. Holy cow. He could play rook C8. I don't know. I don't know what I would do. The last move seemed kind of weird. I mean, D6 is solidly protected, and I'm afraid to take the pawn on C5. I guess I would try something else. Update, I started streaming, what, 14 minutes ago? What on, am I streaming on lichess now? Do they have me listed? Knight E4. Yeah, I mean, I'm scared of taking that pawn with the open file. But this is like a blitz game now. He does take it, but black... Oh, black does it. Okay, cool. So this actually happens. That's funny. Yeah, this is the game. B6. Bishop A6. I didn't see that. Rook C7. Total mess. The last thing you want against this guy is some kind of technical endgame. Jim's running out of fancy tricks and stuff. Oof. So this is a neat idea. Getting two connectors with B5. That's got to be an unpleasant surprise for black. Nice blockader on D6. So now rook C1. He misses rook C1. So let's say like rook C1, C4. It's a mess. Instead we have blitz game, king C3. I'm not sure what the plan is with king C3. We can't play B6. We can't play A5 and B6. We can't go anywhere, you know, so king C3 just sort of doesn't do anything. I was thinking of king F4 actually. Ironically, like the king is probably better over there. And then it just like totally went crazy. Jim's gonna tragically lose, as usual. The master of tragically losing winning positions. Now, Grandmaster has 2 pieces and a pawn. No, 2 pieces for a rook. And a solid blockade. Oops, he had. Now we have enough material. Hanging in there. Black's down to increments. 2 passed pawns. Can Jim save it? Now the king seems relevant here. Two runners. We're almost getting mated. Good choice. Oh man, that's scary. He's almost getting mated. Oh my god. That's just comedy. Damn, dude. And what happened? He wins. Black timed out with 55 seconds because he's playing 100 players at once. Welcome, Uber driver. Mr. Slowhand just gifted a tier 1 sub to our Favs. And he's given 99 gift subs in the channel. Mr. Slowhand is not only our #1 bit gifter this week, but he's also our #1 gift sub gifter with 1 gift sub. Thank you, man. So, alright, that was crazy game, but what kind of absolute potser would play this variation with black? It's just ridiculous. Alright. So we're running out of time, guys. Don't play this opening with black. Serious. I need another pen. Can you give me a pen? Alright, good comedy from Jim for submitting that game. He must have been entertained to see my contribution there. 100 gift subs, 99, 100. We're up to 100. He wanted to get to 100. He gifted a tier 1 sub to G Souts. So he's up to 100 gift subs. That's awesome. I think you're on the list. You're on the list, Bob, as a top gift subber. But I think that Mr. Slowhand is a little bit of a lead. Very generous. Thank you so much, man. I'd also like to thank Cormoran for a generous donation this week after our Tuesday tournament. Okay, so we got Warnocky, Blobix, Troll, Nefedov, and Save a Dog, maybe, if we have time. And I've got half an hour left. If you send the games in earlier, I have more time to focus on them. Warnocky, where are you? There it is. Greetings there, continuing my saga. The Greek saga. Questionable openings. The other site that shall not be named. Warnaka. Warnaka. It's like Nakamura. Warnaka. But anyway. We're having fun. Nakamura. Should I put the wig on again? I can't be serious. Panda can wear it. Panda, you look hot with that wig. You can't see him. Wait, I'll update the camera. Panda cam. We have to update Panda cam. Just bear with us. Done. He looks a little like Kurt Cobain. How is that possible? Alright, so Warnocky is playing white. And who are you playing against? A 957. These guys are underrated. So we looked at this before. Knight c3, c5, e3, knight c6. Alright, now bishop c4. I'm serious about the YouTube channel Parody, Chess Parody, with bad advice and crappy openings. I think it could take off. The onion of chess YouTube channels. But anyway. Don't use that wig for evil. It's easy to foot a guy. I finally quit drinking for good. Now I drink for evil. You know that joke. I promoted it way too much. Anyway, the Anarchy Chess subreddit. Alright, I'll check it out, Mr. Coffee. This is just some off-the-wall setup here. It's basically... We're basically playing a really bad version of the... whatever that is. That bishop c4 in the Sicilian. We played bishop c4 in the Sicilian and like retreated our pawn from e4 to e3. No, I mean, they've got positive reviews on me on Reddit too. I'm neutral toward Reddit. It's fine, Bob. Don't rehash stuff from 3 years ago. I just joked about it. I don't have any feelings one way or the other. I vote for not putting the bishop on c4 too early. But my alter ego likes it secretly. You know the other truth? It's probably better to play e4 than e3. But seriously, we're going to make this work like a weird Wednesday opening. You can play like Rockport and play d4. You can play knight f3. That's probably one of your more sound options. Bishop e5 is a funky move. I kind of like that. Then you can always do like some kind of random f4. That always works. That's about all the suggestions I have for you. You can always do a g3, but I don't like the hippo with the knight on c3. I'd rather play like b3, bishop b2, than with knight on c3. Knight b1's a good suggestion, bloggers. I like knight ce2. This is called the Raoul. I have a friend of mine who's like a 1600 from Mexico, lives in Boston, Cambridge. He's been playing the Raoul for years. The strategy is you play knight c3, knight e2, knight g3, no matter what black does. That's the beauty of it. Like, you don't have to care about... Maybe that'll feature on my new stream. We can introduce the Raoul. But the Raoul makes complete sense, of course. Unless this h-pawn is coming down to set a pick. I'm not sure what we do against h5, like in this position. Maybe we signal the retreat. Don't know. I don't know what Raoul does here. He's a good guy, though. Anyways, bishop c4, not a good idea. You know, I could see, like, if black played e5, playing bishop c4, you have, like, a clear shot and control of d5. But don't put the bishop on c4 if black can hit you with d5. That's the general rule. This is a bad move. Now you're already in trouble, because he could just bang out d5 with tempo. But I guess you know that. You're basically playing a Nimzo now. You lost the tempo. After bishop e5, you're playing like a normal Nimzo position. Swedish variation, or whatever they call it. Swedish fish. Swedish Rapport. Yeah, he's kind of awesome. He plays like a3, puts his knight on a2 with white. I did like when he had blue hair, though. That was my favorite thing. I'll give him credit for being a very creative player, though. All joking aside, but he's a little too creative. Like, I don't want him playing board 1 on my Olympic team. Like, I like him. I like that he's creative. But I definitely don't want him playing board 1. Whatever, you know. He can play board 4 all day long, but I don't want him on board 1. So d5, maybe not even board 2. Board 3 or board 4 is fine. Do whatever you want down there. But seriously, d5, bishop b5. What are you doing? You have to play bishop b5. Warnaki's just trying to be too weird now. This is just absurd. Bishop d3. Absurd. It's like one of Asturbate's most provocative bishop moves. God, this is bad. Now c4 is actually a good move. Black is hesitant. If I don't play c4, I probably would play a6 here. Just set the pawn avalanche in motion. They call it the cruncher. Alright. I don't know how you cannot play bishop b5 there. Now e4. Yeah, well, I mean, it's getting a little bit late here. I would consider maybe rook e1, tuck the bishop back on f1, b3. You're going to need to get out of the way. Okay, so the problem with e4 is black has c4, and you're probably in a lot of trouble. He didn't play it, but what do you do on this? Just not good. It's just not good. You take here, and you pray that black takes back, and you can like check him on the e-file, and it's not that bad. Your other option would be to take, and when he takes here, you take his knight. I'm thinking that black has a clear advantage here. But maybe I'm exaggerating. How bad is this? Yeah, it's only slightly better for black. Let's see, c4. Kind of amazingly, it's only slightly better for black after c4. That's sort of shocking. Alright, so d4. Basically, Warnaki, I've played this out of the French, but with like a move more. I mean, I've played like a million times. Not that much on the stream, but sometimes I play this stuff like half jokingly. Knight c3, knight f6, bishop d3. Like I used to play this in Blitz all the time, like in all seriousness. But I'd be like a full tempo ahead of like wherever you're at here. And normally I would play b3 to kind of stop black from playing c4. This is an opening I made up one day when I was sick of the French defense. But seriously, not really good. My greatest triumph with that opening was beating Kaidanov in Blitz on ICC years ago. That was kind of funny though, to beat like a 2600 with like bishop d3 against the French. Alright, bishop d6, e4, d4, 92. This is the basic idea. You just, that the tempo is really costly. c3 is a good move. Yeah, you're hanging your central pawn. So you need to prep it with like knight g3. But maybe it's best not to exchange on d4. What are we benefiting? How are we benefiting from this exchange on d4 here? We're not really benefiting from this exchange. This doesn't really do anything. Why don't we just go knight g3 first and then wait and see what happens? We have the flexibility to exchange on d4 when we want to do it. So I wouldn't do it right away unless I have to. It's possible black could play knight d7, knight c5 and step on us like a bug. So I don't see any advantage in exchanging on d4. Just play knight g3, relieve the guard, defend e4, that's your strong point, and then maybe bishop c4 later, or rook e1. Maybe bishop b5. Like a reverse Nimzo type of thing. Ubatis likes this. He just didn't take the pawn, and now you've got a normal position, like a normal Dunst opening. Knight h5 was a pretty good move by this guy, who's supposed to be, by the way, 900. Damn. I mean, seriously, 900 and he plays knight h5. It's a good move. No brain, no pain. Exactly. He didn't notice the pawn was hanging. Now black can play knight f4. Come in! Get out of here and come again. But seriously, knight f4. What are we going to do? You're going to play knight f5, I guess. I just don't like letting him in there. What are our options, though? Like, g3 is horrible. I was thinking of you, Bob, today. I had this very funny memory of like this account I don't remember, it was me or a roommate of mine had started on chess on ICC 20 years ago. We used to make up like funny guest accounts and then play on them for like a month and then get rid of them and start another one. But we created this account called Snack on My Sack. And I think it was running for like, I don't know, months and months and months, maybe like half a year, and it never got flagged. But one day, yeah, I think like Arena Crush or someone complained about it. I was like, what? It had just gone completely unnoticed. My roommate loved it, you know. Nobody was ever bothered by it. But, you know, it's just about a sacrifice. Just snack, you know. Eat my sacrifice. Eventually they banned it, though. That hurt my feelings. Like, we love that account. But it makes me think of you when I think of kind of controversial chess handles. Let's see. That was a good one, though. Knight h5, knight g3. I don't remember. It was like with a C, I think. Exactly, with a C, like a chess sacrifice. That was the point. It's a big difference, of course. I was offended. I was almost going to fight them on it. You know, I was offended they had the audacity to ban my account. Wow, Roman Gingiashvili did this against me once. Knight takes g2. I was like, almost fell out of my chair. One of our early rapid games. You know, you're just sitting there, and all of a sudden there's a knight in the middle, in the middle of your king side. Like, you hear a lot about sacrifices like f7 and h7, but it's not that often you get to see examples of. It's audacious, exactly. It's not offensive. It's so subtle, no one even notices. You know, it's just perception. If you have a dirty mind, you would think there was something bad about it. Knight takes g2. Yeah, it's just like, what? He randomly sacrificed a piece for nothing. It's so sad because he did so well with this game for a 900 player. Well, he didn't know what to do. He was frustrated. And I understand, you know, it's not that easy. There is no clear way for black to make progress. Keeping the tension is not really like something that's easy for human nature. We inherently, as human beings, I think, are stressed by tension. So, I have like 6 games left. No, we don't have the Bob game. I have Blobix, Troll, Nefedov. It's a lot. Save Dog. And I'm falling asleep. Fitness. Anyway, alright, it's over. Knight takes g2 doesn't work. You just take it. Knight f4 check. Okay, he didn't even realize. You just take it. Will we make it before midnight? I've got half an hour max, guys. I've got to finish in half an hour max. Bishop takes f4. You don't let a knight like that sit in your position, Warnaki. In a closed position, do you think like your bishop is worth more than that knight on f4? You're committing a mortal sin here. That is automatic capture. You don't even need to calculate. Like this is offensive. This is an offensive move to me, King h1. That is not allowed. That's like no rad. The no rad system just detected something flying in our airspace, and it is going to be eliminated now, you know. No, that's gone. Especially when you're up a piece. Like, you're not even thinking about it. Instantly captured. Gone. Don't even give him a chance to acerbate a chance to mate you with, like, queen g5, queen g2. Objectively, king h1 is okay. See? See? He immediately has knight h3, and there's some way you could smothered mate yourself or something. This is a very bad practical decision not to take on f4. That move somehow, okay. We're creating a possibility here to lose the game, essentially. Oh, this is... See what you had to do now? You had to play knight g1 to get rid of his knight on h3. When you could have just taken it on f4. Now you have to jump through hoops to defend your position. Totally easy to, like... Now it's totally easy to blunder mate in 1. If you play rook e1, it's over. Help mate. There's just no excuse for this. Queen f3 is a good move, though. All seriousness, guys, I'm joking around a lot today. What are you doing on the queen side? Warnacki focusing too much on the artistic side of the game. This is Warnacki. Your bishop has a good diagonal. Your rook can get in manually. I think he didn't realize how it moves. It moves this way on this diagonal. There's no need to play b4. I think he's trying to play a5. He just wanted to do the rook lift. Really bad. I like it. I like it. I'm not trying to be too harsh. This is kind of a weird move. We just collapsed on e4. But again, like, I don't leave this here. It's not staying there where it can hurt me, you know? I'm definitely getting rid of it. Danger, you know, danger. Smothered mate is not. There is no smothered mate. Alright, that's it. There's no mate, there's no smothered mate, it's over, game over. Alright, I'm going to stop here. That was a very strange game. But look, he had 7 inaccuracies and only 1 blunder. That's less than Nakamura in his final against Magnus. Alright. Blobix is up. We haven't seen Blobix in a long time. He stopped by. I joined his Gorillas team. Gorillas. Players over 2,000 are gorillas. Gorillas are subtle animals. Seriously, where's your submission? Is it there? Alright, please find the Monix game for subscribers analysis. So, Billy Joe. Joey Bill. Oh no, another one. It's Capablanca. No, it's Blobix. Billy Joe is white. What? Does he know he's playing like your favorite opening against you? It's like Billy Joe against Billy Joe. Yawn. I've been here. But Blobix is in his element now. I'm surprised he didn't play e6. He plays d6. There's some subtlety involved here. What's the deal between e6 and d6 here, Blobix? You're inclined to seek a refund. You'll have to talk to the customer. DK guy is he's our customer service representative, specialist. Office hours are from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. European time. I'm sorry, you'll have to call back tomorrow. What's the deal between e6 and d6? You want to play like d6 and e5 in one go? I know this seems like nothing to most people, but it's to me relevant. You know, and Blobix is going for e5 in one go. You know, there's a big difference. Totally different setup. If you play e6, it's something else. Oh, white has the standard, like, Rei-T opening now with black. Yeah, you're playing the Rei-T with white. It's Capablanca. Except your opponent is playing better than Saint-Cyr against Capablanca. I like how knight on bd2 is dubious. I'm sorry? Wait. Knight on bd2 is dubious? That's kind of harsh. I mean, I'm sure knight bd2 and knight c3 and knight a3 you might even try. But no, not here. No, in all seriousness, I don't think knight on bd2 is really dubious. That's kind of extreme. I agree, though. I was talking about this with Mr. Coffee in some lesson. The knight here, you know, in a lot of instances might be better placed, especially against hanging pawns. But I don't think, like, you know, I don't think that black is going to have a hanging pawn structure here where the knight is going to go to a4 and attack them. I'm not sure this is really dubious. Mikhail Kalinin. I think I played Mikhail Kalinin a couple times at the Boylston Chess Club. GM, kind of low-rated grandmaster. Solid player, though. Every game we had was a draw. Rook fe8, d5. Sorry, sir, can you maintain that pawn on d5? Are you sure that's a good idea? Billy Joe? Can you maintain that pawn on d5? Because if you can maintain the pawn on d5, I think you have a good game. If you can't, then you just made a mistake. Kaplang. The other possibility is e6, of course. It's a tough judgment, but I don't want this to be shut down. It looks like c6 is good. Blavix understands his stuff here. You know, a lot of people don't like this kind of position, but I think the d5 is dubious. Anyway, white has a very solid game, but he lost his opening advantage, or whatever there was left of it. It's going to be very hard for Black to play for a win. This is super solid. Another very ambitious move by white, though. You may regret, like, you know, playing b4 in the hedgehog. Many a player with white, you know, on the hedgehog type of structure has come to regret, like, some nasty pressure against c4 later on. So here I was thinking maybe a transfer of queen, but our bishop is going to get trapped. So I guess we just have to plan on the bishop coming back to b7. Although you don't need to retreat your knight. In fact, I just don't feel right about retreating the knight here. It seems like anti-developmental. I want to complete my development, get the queen off the back rank. Maybe queen d7. If f3, we just pull it back to b7. We go from there. Our rooks are connected. You wanted the knight on d7. It's probably not bad. It's okay. You know what's funny about hedgehog positions, though? I like the hedgehog, DK guy. But I don't play the London system. The hedgehog is hard to play for the side with the space advantage. I used to play the hedgehog a lot. But the thing about the hedgehog that you have to know, like white's position here, one exchange of minor pieces takes almost all the advantage out. You know, I mean, like, just one exchange of pieces. The fact that Blavix exchanged knights here sort of sucks all the air out of the balloon. Like, really not that much anymore. Just because he's managed to exchange one set of pieces. You really need, like, all the pieces on the board to make that hedgehog kind of position work. Just the fact that he's traded one piece is majorly beneficial for black. Okay, so it looks like a standard position. More easy for black to play, I think, and with the pieces back and forth, than try to find a constructive plan. So you like the hedgehog? You like to suffer in the hedgehog? I have a good score with the hedgehog. Like, almost every grandmaster I've played it against, I've never lost a single game. Now king f2, this is like, I'm sorry? What? What kind of player plays king f2? I mean, he's like 2200 or something. He's a 2300 FM and he's playing king f2 in this position? What? They're giving out the FM title a little bit, like, randomly. Maybe Blavix is an FM. Maybe the titles are reversed. They should take his title away and award it to Blavix after king f2. This is like, what are you doing? That's totally a drug move. King f2. I mean, I understand this is an absurd fantasy for white, you know. But I think Blavix has to think about e6. I know that there's risk involved in playing e6, though. I wondered here, when he plays queen e8, it feels like e6, man. I mean, this is such a standard hedgehog move. But with his queen on e3 and his king on f2, you're supposed to bust him with d5. You got to set him up for d5 here. You're just not in the right direction with queen e8. Blavix wanted to not weaken his structure, but I mean, this is such a standard idea. If this guy goes king f2 against me, it's just encouraging me to play e6 and play d5 and try to blast open the position. I think that's definitely weird that you didn't play e6. You wanted to have your cake and eat it too and not weaken your structure at all. But I mean, I think objectively it's going to be pretty hard to do anything if you don't play e6. What are you going to do? Play queen e8 and a5 and pry open the a file? I mean, maybe, but, you really need to play e6. There it is. Thank you for playing e6. I liked it better in the other position, though. With your knight not on e5, your knight is in the way of all those tactics. You felt it's better after h4? Well, everything's better after h4. Everything's always better after h4. d5. Oof. Well, he's got to take. He took that way. My first inclination is to take with the c pawn. Trade as many pieces as possible with white here. But we have already seen white is an extremely optimistic player. Now this is a positional move. That's a good idea if it works. This looks a little weak. I wish your queen was on d8 right now. Oh, sneaky. It's going to be hard, though, to take down that knight on d4. That's a rock. He just voluntarily put it off of d4. Here I am. The first thing I say is going to be hard to take the knight out. He goes here. All right. He moved it voluntarily. It's a complicated position, though. White has a structural advantage on the queen side. Take, bishop d4. There you go. You magically got your queen to d8. I was just saying, wouldn't it be nice to have the queen on d8? Blavix heeded my demand and put his queen on d8. Jumped right over the rook. Got it on d8. g3. That softens up the king side a little bit more. Still not easy to break through, though. That was a bad bishop anyway. We don't need it. I don't mind trading it for a knight. I don't need it. It's too fat for me. Yeah. Is this a positional exchange sack? Wow. That's dramatic. So we have knight c4 now? I thought maybe we can play knight c4. Let's take a look. That's just me, but a5 is good too. How does a5 work exactly? I'm a little concerned he's just going to take it. What's the trick? Ornaki finally got his move in. Why can't he just take it? Is it that bad? I mean, you've got knight c6 or something. I'm not really in the mood to give him my a6 pawn. I like this better, putting something in the way between him and the a pawn. I don't really get a5. I must be missing some tactic here after ba. Apparently, Black's just winning because he's up the exchange and it's +5. I honestly don't completely understand. I wouldn't play a5. But Blavix is deeper than me. He's seen more deeply. So queen e7 is crushing. Well, I noticed, but I mean, what happens on takes, queen a7? Just humor me for one more move, like rook c1. So I don't see an immediate killer move, but I guess you have it, huh? You have this nasty stuff like knight g4 takes, and then takes on e2. It's pretty dangerous. Double overloading, whatever you call it, overloading of the queen. This happens, actually. He plays a5, knight b7. So he had this in mind anyway from the game. Bang. Blavix is an expert in overloading theme. Mate. Nice. Yeah, I mean, white seemed woefully unaware of, like, general king safety for a FIDE master. My job is to take down your opponents so you don't get any sort of gratification from your game. No, I just try to be open and honest. I mean, I think that he showed a lot of, like, general sort of disrespect for his king safety, and then was summarily punished. But a good game by Blobix. All right, we got to get it moving, guys. Thank you for all submitting your games and stuff. Saeed's, welcome back. Thanks, everybody. Good hedgehog. Blobix is done. Not completely done, I mean, but just for now. Troll on a roll. Guys, we got to go soon. I have just like 20 minutes, 15 minutes, really, and I've got to go. Troll, Nefedov, and Save-A-Dog. And I don't think we're going to get to Bob today. Maybe a 1-minute review. Because you are late. Bob is late. All right, Troll. My favorite part of Blue Man Group. Anyway, Troll on a roll. Hello, sir. I am suggesting a day for today's analysis stream. Kamsky, playing black in King's Indian. Yeah, it always seemed weird. I guess Gata has a pretty wide opening repertoire. He's not an opening-centric player. He learned openings really late, and I think that's a good way to go. Like Dreyev and Kamsky and like Karpov, but it's funny to think about Kamsky playing the King's Indian. He also plays the Leningrad Dutch. Doesn't seem like a King's Indian player to me, which is kind of funny. But this is like what? This is an online game? Troll? I was kind of assuming this was like an online game. But I don't recall like Gata regularly playing the King's Indian back in the day when he was, like almost a world championship challenger and all that stuff. In his prime, like the King's Indian, I don't think that was really. Maybe the Grunfeld, he's played a lot, but not really King's Indian. It's online blitz. So d6 f3. So it's kind of weird seeing Kamsky. I mean, he's obviously a great player. He can play anything. It's kind of weird seeing him play the King's Indian. He played this strange move here, knight on bd7, which is pretty rare. But I guess there's no obvious refutation. It's an old-fashioned way of playing the King's Indian. Like, nobody plays e5 against the Samish these days. Knight e2, a6. This was interesting. So he's setting up some kind of a6, c5 before committing his king. So he just doesn't castle. I should look at this from Black's perspective here. Black is not castling. A highly unusual idea against the Samish King's Indian for Black. This is kind of original. And now if we look, knight on bd7 played, okay, quite a few games. What do most people play here? Bishop e3, of course. This is the most natural move. He definitely takes the wind out of bishop g5. I mean, since that's already like over-guarded. I guess white can still play bishop g5, though. The idea of bishop g5 is to sort of to try to talk Black out of playing structures based on e5. But this is kind of waiting move. I don't really play knight e2. I don't know what the deal is with that. Okay, a6, you're going to play usually bishop e3. Plays bishop g5. And now white is going to play the knight to either c1 or g3 and try to play like bishop e2, complete his development. But he plays c6. So this is kind of funny. Move order, very purposeful move order by Kamsky, not castling and making quick a6, c6, playing for b5. Interestingly, Gata did work with Roman Gingiashvili back in my era. And when I was working with Roman was a big advocate, incidentally, of King's Indians with a6 and c6. When Roman was one of Kamsky's seconds in the mid to late 90s, when Gata was quite strong, he's a huge... Roman loved to play a6 and c6 and b5. This is also an influence of Soltis. Roman was around the United States like in the late 70s and 80s, and Andy Soltis was playing the King's Indian. and a lot of a6, c6 stuff. So I think the Gada's kind of borrowed this from, you know, strong American grandmasters like Soltis playing this stuff. It's interesting how this stuff sort of gets handed down. Queen d2, h6 now. That's probably not a bad move, but not necessary. I mean, I'm expecting black to just go ahead and play b5. You see here, this Walter Brown game. Very strange, Brown playing the King's Indian. Like, what am I going to see next? Like, Karpov playing the King's Indian? Walter Brown playing the King's Indian. What are you talking about? Like, that's weird. Walter was playing mostly poker and those days in his retirement, and I don't know, doesn't play the King's Indian. He was extremely good against the King's Indian, as I know from personal experience. Boss Boone playing black here. But it's weird that he took time out for h6. I'm not sure I want to do that. Bishop e3, and now b5, and now cb5. This is a weird reaction by white now. Jakubowski, I don't know who this guy is, but maybe a GM. You don't do this. You know, I played the same-ish King's Indian all my life. You don't play b3 in a position like this. It's just, you don't do it. You know, this diagonal here is a big problem. So generally, what you would do would be like maybe move the knight and defend that with the bishop, or maybe you would take and then move the knight. Maybe you would play something like, well, our options are limited. Like take, for example, we can't even do like a3 because black's playing b4 anyway. So I'm not in love with this position already for white. b5, he plays b3. This is weird. You know, I don't know. That looks really weird. Take. And then Gada just turns it into a Benoni. It looks easier to play for black. Jumps right on the c4 weakness here. So it's quite impressive. This is a very strong move. We're taking on c4. Definitely awesome for a blitz game. But it looks like he's borrowed something from Roman's sort of repertoire. Bishop e2, h4. Grabbing space on both sides. You know, I'm sure that Kamsky has other influences too. Walter, what? Walter and poker. I like Walter a lot, though he was kind of tough when he wasn't interested. He liked to talk about what he liked to talk about, and if you tried to like change the conversation, he was kind of indignant. I found that irritating about Walter Brown, but overall, he was a really interesting guy. But he doesn't play the King's Indian, you know, and that's odd. So he sacks the exchange here. Yeah, this is nice. Jolly Joker would be best placed at d4. Yeah, having fun here. It's a blitz game. We sack the exchange. We got a pawn for it. White's king is trapped in the center. Kind of fun. And then he just like takes him apart. Who needs castling anyway? Castling is overrated. Now the engine says that white is okay, but this is a blitz game. Suddenly, uh-oh. And a very nice finish. White just freaks out with f4. We have just taking it, and then this, and then this, and then this. White is not even around. I don't know where he is. And a very nice finish. Thank you for the piece. Knight g3 check, and we all know that. Kamsky on a King's Indian. It was a nice game. Not really his standard opening, though. But again, he does play the Leningrad Dutch, which is kind of similar strategically. D5 an option. D5 an option at like what point? I don't know. Generally, white isn't going to play d5 in these type of setups too early. In general. Anyway, it was interesting. You know, something you might try. Knight on bd7, c6, a6, b5 early. I kind of like the a6, b6 setups. I mean, a6, c6 setups myself. Instead of b3, this position, yeah. d5 here. I mean, first of all, like, honestly, I would imagine we could play it like a Benko and just play c5 at the very least. This looks like a pretty good Benko for black. I'm not crazy about Kamsky's decision to play h6, though. I think I might leave that out. So, I don't know. d5. You normally don't play d5 unless black plays like e5 or c5, and then you answer with d5, generally. This is also maybe not a big threat, like takes here, because we have knight e5 hitting c4 and hitting c6. I'm not sure if white is actively threatening anything with d takes c6. Okay, guys, we got through Troll. Now we got Nefedov, who's not here, and Save-A-Dog. And I've got to go to sleep. All right. Again, you know, technical assistance hours are between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. European time, Central European time. You're on the list. I think if you have a complaint, oh, that's also 5 a.m. Excuse me, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The complaint line. Sorry, due to coronavirus, we have less operators at this time. You'll have to call back between business hours if you have some sort of complaint about the stream. Our managers are currently off duty. Anyway, if we didn't learn any chess here, we had some fun today, joking around. But, alright, Nefedov here. What's up? Nefedog. He got angry when I called him Nefedog. Alright. Where is he? Different studies. Damn, this is not it. Conversation with Nefedog. What the heck? Where is he? Dude, where's Nefedog? There's DK guy? Do you guys see it there? Maybe it's up there. I gotta scroll up. Yeah, I missed it. Alright, game to analyze for today, please. Do you know FM Classy plays? It's a French guy, right? One of our subscribers, he's a high-rated Glasgow Rapid player. One of our subscribers has had submitted a game or two that he played against him. I don't really know him personally. He accepted my challenge and immediately aborted. I don't know, man. I mean, there's a lot of reasons. Maybe he like had somebody at the door. Again, the complaint line is only operating from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. That's really interesting. So e4, e5, knight f3. Not surprised, but you never know. I wouldn't judge people, you know, too much. What irritates me is when like people like they repeatedly challenge me and I decline them and they keep challenging me again. I'll just like block them forever. If I decline a challenge, I mean, I know there would be a reason for it. If I aborted a game or something, there would be a reason for it. Probably, you know, for most people, there's a reason. I would assume there's a reason, you know. I wouldn't judge people so quickly. It's really weird, especially if you haven't played them before. Anyway, that's kind of off topic. I'm analyzing subscriber games here today. e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, knight f6, d3, bishop c5. And we're looking at Tilichayev against Nefedov. So this Bulgarian GM, I don't know him too well. I've seen only a couple games here. Seems pretty good. Castles, h3. I'm not a big fan of h3, but whatever. I mean, I guess it's playable. I'm not a big fan of h6 either. These guys are taking prophylactic moves seriously. Okay, so I don't know the setup too much, but white is not playing c3, and there must be a reason for that. He's delaying c3 on purpose because he wants to bring the knight out to c3. I want to complain to the manager. c3. After all that, he just plays c3. What is this psychological games of the move order here by white? All right, a5. This is all the rage, like playing a5. But it very slightly weakens the b5 square. You know, I really adhere to the Nefedov a6. I like a6 better. That's just me. I'm old school. I don't play e4, e5 that much with black, but if you ask me, I prefer it. Recently, now in the Magnus Super Tournament, the Magnus Magnifique Tournament, there was an a5 game. I think maybe Caruana played. He likes to play a5. Maybe it was Hikaru against Nakamura in their playoff. They had a game in this kind of line, but I'm not sure Hikaru played h3. I don't think so. But I think that black had played a5. I don't really like a5. All right. Anyways, we're taking a lot of time here. This looks standard. Standard oil. Bishop a7, knight on bd2. We got a lot of games now. Rook e8. Well, Nefedov knows his theory. Knight f1. Queen d7. I mean, the quality of games in the Magnus tournament isn't that high. They're rapid games, you know. I have no idea what we're supposed to do. I thought you're supposed to play knight e7 around here. But White's getting there first. He's already beating you to knight g3 or something. Anand Nakamura. Speaking of Nakamura. I don't know. I just saw a lot of games between Sergei Kudrin and Ivanov. Knight e7, knight g6. Queen d7, okay, it's a move. Knight g3, and then knight e7. Oh, you're combining the best of both worlds. So this seems to be Nefedov's problem. It looks like he's kind of combining two different things. Knight e7, knight g6, and queen d7. Clearly, there's an issue. I mean, White's going to play d4 eventually. The delayed d4 is deadly. DDD. Triple D, Bob. Delayed d4 deadly. And queen d7, I mean, are we really going to sack a piece on h3? I don't know. What do you do after this d4 here? E takes d4, c takes d4, and d5. This seems weird to me. What's the deal with this? Why isn't this good for White? Check it out. Game from Argentina 2000, or Uruguay, I don't know where these guys are playing. But why isn't White just better here? What is this? I don't get it. Queen d7? 4 games. Okay, nobody plays it. But it doesn't look good. So you've got to choose between d5 or knight e7, apparently. And Nefedov played queen d7. And I don't get why not d4. So this is actually strong. Ah, there's a sacrifice. Now the engine sees it. Can you really do this? Wow, you can actually sack a piece. Oh, this is a question. Nefedov is super well prepared. Does this work? So even this isn't clear. Does this actually work? It's critical. If it doesn't work, then black's just busted and the whole thing is bad. There doesn't seem to be anything. Wow. The engine just for a second thought there was something there for black. Everybody just assumes that it's good for black, but it's not. There's 4 games. I mean, you have to do either d5 or knight e7. I would think maybe we want to look back on rook e8, here. Instead of playing rook e8, can we just play knight e7? Another option. But rook e8 is the main line. But it raises an interesting question. Knight f1, and what do? You have to play d5. So you have to play d5. It's like forced. And now, position is equal. Good to know. Anyway, so queen d7, not so good. Knight e7, queen d7. He plays this. This is just lame. Totally lame. DDD. Delayed d4 is deadly. The problem is Tilachev's playing a lot of players. It's a simul, and he's just making moves. Nefedov hung a piece against me. Speaking of Nefedov simuls, he hung a piece against me with check on Sunday when I hosted the simul. It was queen a5 takes g5 with check for free, and I didn't see it, and I was like praising him for playing well. I came back to the board and it was just hanging, but instead I traded queens on c3. It's ridiculous. Like, I can't see a move as like hanging with check. d4 is really strong. I don't understand what black's plan is here. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Your center is falling and you've got a bishop getting trapped by d5. It's like you have to do something horrible like this. This doesn't look good at all. No, this doesn't work. Borky. Borky 1, Nefedov 0. No good. Alright, so anyway. But this is lame. Just lame. The rook is on the wrong square. It belongs on f1 if you want to play like Karl Schlechter with white. Parent Tilashev knows that. He's correcting himself. Nefedov sacked a piece for nothing. White takes it and goes on to screw up. So this position is amazing. e3 is hanging. Whoops. Wow. Practical Nefedov. 3 pawns for a piece. He lost on time. Interesting game, though. All right, guys, we got to go. So last game, HTFP. Then Bob's complaint line. HTFP at least put it in a study, which I appreciate, guys. We're back tomorrow morning, Friday at 11 a.m. Central European Time, CEST. You're black, you said? Sicilian? Okay, this is just a bad move. It may be playable in the Sveshnikov. Trappy line, you know, it's not good for white. People do it. It looks like you played correctly. You know, do you have to take that, or can you just play for structure with like d6? Arkady Shavalev against Sveshnikov. Hanging on to 2496 at 2018. How old is Sveshnikov? Unbelievable. He was old when I played him like 23 years ago. It was more. He seemed old when I played him in like 1994. And he's still 2496 and it's 2018? What? Alright. Well, it's 2020 now. But anyways. So I would consider d6 here. I'm not sure what's going on. He's only 70. Damn. Dude looked old when he was like 45. That's impossible that he's only 70, dude. That's like saying John Spielman is number 4 in the world. I was checking the FIDE rating list, Bob. It's just ridiculous. You know, if you look at like 1985, Jonathan Spielman is like 19th in the world. 1986, Jonathan Spielman is like, I don't know, 14th in the world. 1992, Jonathan Spielman is like 23rd in the world. Every FIDE list you look at, he's like, I don't know, 18th or 19th or 21st or something like that. Like maybe maxing out at like 14. But somehow he like got 4th. Just whoop, like magically, like for one list, he was like 4th. When every other list ever in history of chess, he never broke like top 15 or something. That's crazy, dude. And then I look bad because I'm questioning whether he was 4th. I question the rating list. You know, that's what I question. Starting to sound like something I don't want to sound like. Alright, knight takes e4, rook e1, knight f6, knight e5, d5. We're going to go through this quickly. I don't have a lot of time, but check this out. That's insane, the Sveshnikov is 70. Dude, he looked extremely old back in 1995. I guess it was just because I was young. He must have had a hard life, though. Alright, bishop d3, knight takes e5. It's a Latvian thing. Tao looked old for his age, too. Rook takes e5. I don't think that Sveshnikov was drinking as much. So something went wrong here, dude. Something went seriously awry. I think my suggestion, again, is to go back to this position. From what I can see, maybe we want to seriously play d6 here. What does the engine think? The engine doesn't think it's necessarily better. But I kind of like keeping the center together. Bishop a3 is the problem. Then you can take, though. Problem is this an advantage for black, or is it just like a draw? You ruined Bosch. Secrets of opening surprises. Willing to play this with white. It's like he knows it's like a forced draw or something. Playing it on purpose for a draw. But seriously, Rook e1, knight f6. I want to ask you a question. I'm going to turn off the engine. I want to ask a serious question here. HCFP. Your position starts to look really sketchy. The two bishops are nasty, and he's got all these pieces pointing at your king side. And I want to know right around here somewhere, right about now. Queen f3, I'm getting scared, and you played knight e4. And then what happened? Bishop e4, pawn e4. So this position, right? Move 18. Now, I haven't used an engine. I haven't looked this with the computer. I want to know if white has bishop h6 in this position. Maybe there's a defense to it. It's something on the diagonal, right? Bishop h6 doesn't work. Oh. Opposite-colored bishops. I wanted this to work so bad. But he has a defense with the queen. Queen d4. Queen e5. That's what I didn't see the first time I looked at the game. I thought he had like a forced win here. But it doesn't work. So you were okay. Though I thought it started to look shaky, you know. I really thought he had like bishop h6. But it doesn't work at all. It's queen d4, right? Yeah, either queen e5 or queen d4. Just refutes it, because the queen's hanging. Okay, so he didn't have anything. I thought he had a win. Queen e4, bishop f5. And this is just a blunder. You win a piece. But as far as the opening goes, you know, I don't know. You know, my only suggestion would be to try to avoid the structure opening up. You don't really want it to open up too much when this guy's got the two bishops here. I'm not sure if there's anything else you can do earlier. But my first instinct would be that, you know, it's got to be d6 here. A little more solid than the game. All right, guys. Bob, I've got to go. But we'll take a second. You know, we'll look for 1 minute at Bob's game, if you have time. Bob against Supernova. Former Supernova. Bob playing white. The Aliekins defense. Just an entertaining, quick coverage of Bob. Bob playing the exchange variation. Exchange variation is okay, but it's only really good if black promises to take with the c pawn. Frankly. Oh yeah, it's skewerly. I totally forgot. Okay. So Bob's had other games against him. Yeah. They've got a promise to take with the c pawn, and then I would play it every time. But if black takes with the e pawn, it's just like, it's tough, man. The symmetrical freaking French exchange variation, almost. Technically, white is better here, but I don't find this fun, you know. And so I think it's better. It's forced. Like, this just sucks. Like, CD is just bad for black because of several different lines. Once, like, Shabalov, who plays the, you know, Aliekins, played against me, knight b6, d5. Like, you got an Aliekins defense player playing this against you, who was like a student of Tal's, and hanging out with like Bagirov. I mean, d5 like is just, forget about it. You know, it's very good for white. The other lines with like knight c3 and bishop e3, that's also awful for black. Look at the score. But this just is not fun, you know. The problem is that most people who play the Aliekins defense, they don't want to play this because it's not fun, you know. It's not fun for either side. No, CD is normal. It's the normal move, dude. It's the dynamic move. Anyway, all right. So Bob plays the exchange. Yeah, this is the main line, troll. This is supposed to be the main line. Bob's setting him up for bishop e3. But Bob didn't know the theory. This disrefutation is one of two, you know. Awful for black, this variation. It's awful. Kamsky, Jean Kamsky, 2016. I don't remember that. I don't think they played that right. But like, what's Gada doing, you know? What is Gada doing? Why is he playing the Alyakin defense in the US Championship against Jeffrey Jean? What do you think's gonna happen, you know? Very bad choice, Troll, for Gada Kamsky to play the Alyakin's defense with black. Alright, so knight f3. It's just an old line, dude. This isn't that good. I would play the Alyakin for black every game if my opponent promised to play knight f3 against me in this position. Fischer made a lot of like bad choices though. That was a different time, Uber driver. Knight f3 just not that good. Yeah, now black gets sufficient counterplay. This looks like it's some sort of mistake. He should play bishop g7. What I call like balanced development. Yeah, you miss it. So d5, what's happening here? Knight e5. How bad is this though? We're going to do some kind of Bronstein-like pawn recapture. You got to play like this, Bob. Do you have the guts? Play like Oscar. Play like Oscar. Pretend you're from Andorra. You gotta go for d5 before it's embarrassing for black, you know, or before black gets to play d5. h3 is too slow. You're equal, but it's not great. And Bob just goes nuts. I'm gonna play h4. Yeah, I think we can sum this up. I can't see. Wait. Oh. h4. Are you kidding me? Wow. Bob played h4. Unbelievable. My favorite move, Bob. Thank you. Thank you. Alright, anyway. Ponda wanted to thank Bob for playing his favorite move there on the stream. The h4, but I can't agree that it's sound. You know, h4 it's coffee house. Full coffee house. Fully coffee house attack here. Inspired though. I don't vouch for its soundness. Of course, black has to consider h5. Ladlith is a strong player here, played e5, and managed to hold a draw against the 2281. Maybe Bob simply used the opening explorer and decided to pick the move that had the best score for white. Is that the honest truth, Bob? Is that how you chose your move for this game? Did you go to the opening explorer and pick the move that had the best score? Hey, look, h4 has been played once, but it has a draw, it hasn't lost. It's highly suspicious. Anyway, the cheating hotline is only open between 8 and 5 p.m. European time, so we'll give them a call later on tomorrow. But I think that's highly suspicious, Bob, that you played h4 here. You're definitely flagged. Now queen c8. Ladlith played e5, which is pretty radical considering there's like a rook on the d file here. Check this out. Grandmaster with black holding a draw against 2200 with e5. D takes e4, knight takes e5. That is insane, dude. Watch out for those Indian juniors. This guy probably playing like 2500 chess. Queen f4, queen c8, bishop takes b6. Can I have a draw, please? There's something a little artificial about h4, admittedly, but still impressive that a player 2200 could hold a draw. Let's see if Bob could do the same. Queen c8, h5, e5. Skewerly like sidestepping the file like a natural human being. Okay, h6, closing the line. Bob turned into Fabiano Caruana. Black turns into closing the line. I don't know, man. I don't know. Do you really want to play h6 here? Anyway, guys, I gotta go. So we're gonna go over this quick. I'm not sure if he really wants to. If he really wants to shut down the chances of opening the H file in favor of H6. It's a very tough decision. Maybe Bob is just playing for mate. You know, he's trying to do some kind of brute force mate, like H6, Knight F6 check, takes, and Queen G7 mate. That's what it looks like. That's what he does. Wow, Knight E4 double threat, F6, and here. Now, obviously, Black could play F5, but we have a problem here, Houston. He defends the mate, defends D6, but the D file now. Amazingly, this is, according to the engine, this is okay. So it's like a borrowing from Leibniz. C5, Bob prying the diagonal open with new avenues of attack. Oh my God, I thought you were going that way. You're coming out with Bishop G5. The new Bob, the tactical Bob. Man, the white squares, dude. What is happening here? What a position. I'm sorry that we didn't have any time for this game, Bob. It was highly entertaining. And you blundered the win. Wow. So what's the win? Bishop C4, D5, takes, Queen takes, Knight F6, we take the Queen. It looks like you just do that. Bishop here, D5, take it, just simply win the Queen. I don't know. What's actually happening here? Black has enough material for the Queen. No, it's just two pieces. Yeah, it's not enough. It looks like you're just like gonna win Queen for two pieces. Damn, and you fell short. You played Queen B3, allowing D5, and Black survives. And this is like hopeless. It's not that hard of a tactic. You should do more puzzles. You would see that easily. The harder part was the part you did, actually. You know, conceiving of the whole idea. This is awesome, dude. Knight takes, pawn takes, Bishop C4 check, Knight takes, and then Queen D5 check, mate by force. That's the way it should have gone down. Beautiful line. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I gotta go. It's very late. We are over time, way over time. Thanks, everybody, for supporting the stream. Cormoran, thank you. Thanks to everybody who supported the stream with donations. I'd like to thank you guys and see you tomorrow. Honda, myself will be back. Thanks, everybody. Again, Friday, we host Blitz, Fast Blitz here. Put on your mask. Fast Blitz on Friday. Sunday, simul. So 11 a.m. Sunday, 11 a.m. Friday, and 6:30 p.m. CEST on Sunday. 25 board simul. Entertaining tonight, if anything, if nothing else. Anything or nothing, whatever. You guys are welcome. I'll see you then. So stop by tomorrow. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Take care. Thanks, Mr. Coffee. Thanks, everybody who supported the stream. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.